I noticed the disconnect. Should be back now. Stakes of America. Upon dying, you will be revived at the last site of grace that you visited. However, if there is a stake of America near where you died, you can choose to be revived there instead. There's usually a stake of America before boss fights, which is nice. The tutorial boss is a soldier of Godric. Guard counters. You can perform a counterattack immediately after blocking an enemy attack. Guard counters make it easy to break an enemy's stance. Right trigger immediately after blocking an attack, guard counter. And so there's your dead Godric soldier. Nicely done with the guard counters, if I do say so myself. So now you'll notice we're back above where we started, where we had the choice to do the tutorial or not. So we got the gestures, strength. And here we are. Now we'll head out here. And our second site of grace. The Stranded Graveyard. So this is one of the imp statues where you can use stone sword keys to open barriers. We don't have any stone sword keys at the moment, so we will be back. Cooperative multiplayer. Use Tarnished's Furled Finger to write a gold summon sign. Cooperative multiplayer will begin once you have been summoned by a player from another world. You will take the role of an ally, Furled Finger, and your objective is to defeat the area boss. The compass at the top of the screen indicates the direction of the summoner, Host of Fingers. So we get a Finger Severer and a Tarnished's Furled Finger. Let's look at those. Try. Take these off. Item for online play can also be used from the multiplayer menu. Use as a host of fingers to select a summoned player and send them back to their world. Use when you have been summoned to another player's world to return to your own world. This phantom blade severs the link formed by a furled finger, but the maidens scorn those who abuse its use. Tarnished's Furled Finger. Item for online play can also be used from the multiplayer menu. Creates a summon sign for cooperative multiplayer. Arrive as a cooperator, Furled Finger, with the objective of defeating the area boss of the world to which you were summoned. A finger of corpse wax, furled like a hook. It is a relic of those who came before, left to help those who would come after. Well, there's finger jokes all over this game. I wonder. I don't know if you've played it. Here we are in Limgrave. That's Stormvale Castle. See the Erd Tree over there. It's much farther away than it looks. The map. Use your map to check your current position as well as the terrain and surrounding structures. You can update your map with new information by finding map fragments at Stells along the road. You can also use the map to freely place beacons of light to serve as landmarks as you explore. I'll just listen to how many finger jokes you can possibly make, so... That guy right there, he's... You know, another classic... Don't try to fuck with him at the start. We will defeat him quite a bit later. But we will talk to this fellow.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring. Hmm? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the Round Table Hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity. Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me. Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light that gives life to you tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that a tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave. Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly, to Castle Stormvale, over on the cliff, the home of the decrepit demigod, Godric the Drafted. It's time you set off, I should think, to Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where Grace would guide you, if you seek the Elden Ring, maidenless as you are. It's time you saw Castle Storm. If you.
So, as always, go until they start repeating themselves. Guidance of Grace. Grace exists to guide the tarnished and lead them along the proper path. Even now, some sites of grace retain that power. Their golden rays will guide you along your way. This map menu. With the map menu, you can check your current position and terrain and buildings in the surrounding area. You can also freely place beacons of light to serve as landmarks as you explore. Lastly, through your map, you can select any site of grace that you've discovered and travel there instantaneously. However, there are some dungeons and other areas where this cannot be done. So you see, we don't have any map at all. So all we have is the 3 graces we've found so far. And it also marks NPCs we've met, as long as they're still in the same spot. So White Mask Vare is here. And the map also shows you the directional guidance that you can also see out in the world if you look at it right there. For now, let's have a rest. Not really much we can do with it yet. That's alright. That tree sentinel has a pretty small aggro range. He won't mess with us unless we kind of do actually get close to him, which is good. Summoning pools. In each area, you may find effigies of martyrs. These effigies are summoning pools. You'll find it easy to summon other players at these locations, as co-op and hostile summoning signs created with small effigies gather at summoning pools. So we got the small golden effigy. Item for online play can also be used from the multiplayer menu. Send a cooperative summon sign to several summoning pools, activated pools only. In cooperative multiplayer, your objective will be to defeat the area boss of the world to which you were summoned. Okay, so for now, we're going to make our way to that little church we can see to the north. Just give a wide berth to the tree sentinel. Hi, Gordita. It's great to see you. And I even mentioned earlier that the Talos 1 remake is, like, the thing I am watching for the release date of. I'll stream it at or near day one when it comes out. Golden Rune 2. Grace that dwells within the inhabitants of the lands between, the lingering grace of gold, used to gain 400 runes. Runes are nourishment for the development of any tarnished, provided a finger maiden can be found. Fast travel to Sites of Grace. Through your map, you can instantly travel to any Sites of Grace that you've discovered. However, there are some dungeons and other areas where this cannot be done. Yeah, so here's the Church of LA. And let's talk to the one who's been nicknamed Christmas Kale.
You're tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Kale,
Kale.
purveyor of fine goods.
Christmas Kale. About Kale.
I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer.
Recommendation.
You know, if you can spare the runes, you should buy yourself a crafting kit. A crafting kit allows you to make basic items on your own. Essential, really, if you intend to survive out here for any duration. The kit costs a bundle, and I admit I do take my cut. But the important thing is that you survive. Every customer counts, after all.
Purchase. Shop menu. With the shop menu, you can spend runes to purchase various items. You can also sell items for runes. Each merchant stocks a different variety of items for purchase. So for now, I'm going to take his recommendation and buy the crafting kit. Leather bag containing a pestle and mortar, small blade, and various other tools. Enables item crafting from the main menu. Provides both means to fight and means to survive. There we go.
I'm glad you took my warning to heart. You've made an excellent choice.
Item crafting. If you have a crafting kit, you can make various items from materials that you find. Select item crafting from the main menu to make items. You can learn to craft more items by finding cookbooks. Containers. You will need cracked pots or other containers to craft certain items. You will not be able to make more of those items than you have containers. Container items will run out with use, but the containers themselves will remain. Alright. Strengthening armaments. At a smithing table, you can spend runes and smithing stones to strengthen your armaments. Somewhere in the lands between, you may meet a blacksmith who can make your armaments even stronger. Smithing Stone 1. Stone used to smith a variety of armaments, a shard found in plenty. Strengthens armaments up to +3. Smithing stone is found throughout the lands between, and mining galleries built to excavate it can be found everywhere. Alright, let's keep going. See, the Grace is pointing us that way now. think we're clear of the tree sentinel now, but we do need to worry about kind of these basic soldiers that are still along the way. See if we can get a backstab. That would be best. It's been so long since I played the beginning. So there we got 4 kukri. A large knife used for throwing. Its curved blade is sharp enough to slice flesh cleanly. Throw at enemies to inflict damage and build up onset of blood loss. This heavy throwing weapon is unsuitable for swift attacks, but is able to inflict heavy damage. Like the shadow of a ghost. You know it. Erdleaf flower. A dusky yellow flower that has started to fade to brown, found throughout the lands between, material used for crafting items. Said to be fed by leaves that fell from the Erd tree in days of antiquity. Ruin fragment. Stone fragment found near places where ruins have fallen from the sky. Can be used for crafting or simply for throwing at enemies. These shards of stone are believed to have once been part of a temple in the sky. They glow with a faint light from within. So we can pick up a few of those up here. Alright, so up here you can see a big enemy camp. There's usually good treasure in those. I'm gonna avoid it for now. We'll clear it later. But for the moment, I just want to kind of give everybody a wide berth, circle around it, and get to that next site of grace we can see over there. Alright, so before I rest, now is an excellent moment to go ahead and use these runes. The third site of grace, the trigger is finding your third site of grace after the tutorial, and you meet Melina and you gain the ability to level up. So this one is called the Gatefront. It is the path to Stormvale Castle. We're going to do quite a lot before we actually go to the castle.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. I offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you.
It's not bad, Loadwonder. It's pretty good fun.
Of the Erd Tree.
Except,
Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring.
Spectral Steed Whistle. I don't know. I've never tried. I'm not sure you actually can refuse. She might just reappear and offer it to you again until you accept. Or maybe you can try to play the whole game without ever leveling up or summoning torrents, I don't know.
Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Okay. And so if you refuse, you're just... Ultimately, you're probably doomed to have to start the game over. Because you can probably do a no level up run, but I am not convinced it would be possible to beat the game without Torrent. Alright, so we will...
Turn your runes to strength. Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment, share them with me. Your
Level...
thoughts, your ambitions, the principles you would follow.
Level up menu. With the level up menu, you can spend runes to increase your attributes. With each attribute increase, your level rises by 1. As your level rises, so does the amount of runes required for your next attribute increase. Alright, so for now, we're going to dump all of our runes into Vigor. Our health starts so low, most things can one-shot us. So the first order of business is to get enough health that that's no longer the case. So 4 points into Vigor to begin. Oh, come on. I'll just need to look at those again. So, Spectral Steed Whistle. A delicate gold-work ring can be used as a finger whistle. Sound the whistle to summon and ride Torrent the Spectral Steed. Dismount Steed when used while on horseback. Upon his death, the Spectral Steed can be summoned again, but doing so drains the Flask of Crimson Tears. About horseback riding. Use the Spectral Steed Whistle to summon and ride your Spectral Steed. If your Spectral Steed dies, you can summon it again, but it will cost 1 Flask of Crimson Tears to do so. You can dismount by using the whistle again, or by pressing left stick. About pouches. From Pouch in the main menu, you can equip 6 items to your pouches. 4 of those items can be used without opening the main menu. So I don't care to have the Memory of Grace in my pouch, but I'm going to put the Spectral Steed Whistle in this slot. A during mounted jump, double jump. Yeah, Torrent kicks ass. I can envision people getting good enough to beat the game without having to level up, but there's so many things you just need Torrent for. I don't know that it would be possible to beat the game without him. Alright. So this camp is at the Gatefront Ruins. I'm going to go ahead and tackle it now that I've had the chance to level up a little bit. I'm going to try to do it mostly with stealth. Gatefront Ruins. Here it is. It's almost our first real level. So that guy's a sentry. You see the big trumpet he has? If he detects me, the first thing he's going to do is blow that trumpet and bring every enemy in the camp down on my ass. So, I would really like to nail a backstab on him. That other patroller, you can see his armor is fancier. That's a knight. They're the kind of the strongest version of all of these basic enemies. You can see those bats flying around too. I'd really rather not pull those if I can help it. But maybe I cannot in fact help it. If that be the case, let's at least try to keep it to one at a time. So we got Godric Soldier Gauntlets from that guy. I knew I'd heard from someone. Gauntlets worn by soldiers loyal to Godric the Grafted, rust-worn and stained through unending conflict. He dropped a Smithing Stone 1. That's nice. These little glowing skulls, they kind of randomly spawn everywhere. They can be difficult to actually break open, but they usually have golden runes inside. So Golden Rune 1. Grace that dwells within the inhabitants of the lands between, the lingering trace of gold, used to gain 200 runes. Runes are nourishment for the development of any tarnished, provided a finger maiden can be found. Alright. So I want to save the knight for last, because he's significantly more dangerous than anything else in this camp. Let's try and sneak around and kill everyone else first. If we can manage it. Okay, that wasn't too bad. This one dropped 5 crossbow bolts. Ammunition used for crossbows, a widespread common type of bolt. Sneak through here, get behind this guy. Lord Sworn Shield and another set of gauntlets. Wooden Tower Shield, lightweight for a Great Shield and easy to handle. Commonly used in the Shattering. Great Shields boast high damage negation and guard capacity, making enemy attacks easy to repel. Skill, Shield Bash. Brace behind shield before using body weight to ram foes while maintaining guarding stance. Weaker enemies will be shoved backwards and can even be staggered. Clear some emails while I am half paused here. So you can see there's still several soldiers in this section of the camp. Important to get them sneakily, if possible. And I will say the day-night cycle matters at a lot of points in this game. One such point is the fact that stealth is significantly easier at night. Let's get this guy. Try and get away from his buddies. Needed to get the dog first. Oh shit, a stance break! Oh, we're in trouble. Alright, he just does too much damage. I can't try and wait for it. I can't try and do a guard counter. That was my mistake. Let's be aggressive. There we go. Aw, man! 5 more crossbow bolts. Alright. Good news. Good-ish news. I think that's everything except this soldier and the knight. So. Oh, and 1 sleeping dog. There's 1 more soldier. Not even certain where he came from. He's coming at me, though. See if we can backstab him. Oh, River's doing so good. Thanks for asking. She appreciates it. Alright, so there's a war pick. Battle hammer with a hard, protruding beak, a pickaxe designed for combat in essence. A simple but highly effective weapon, the weighty piercing attack casually rips through metal armor. Skill, kick. Push an enemy back with a high kick. Effective against enemies who are guarding and can break a foe's stance. Sometimes a simple tool is the most effective. It's funny and kind of absurd. Let's go ahead and kill the last bat, now that it's by itself. Vanquishing enemy groups. Oh yeah, this is important. Vanquishing an enemy group will replenish your flasks. The number and type of flasks to be replenished varies depending on the enemy group. You cannot replenish more flasks than your maximum amount allows. That's good. So I got 1 charge back in my flask of Crimson Tears, which is great because everything is dead except the 1 toughest enemy. But the toughest enemy is still alive. There was another glowing skull down here as well. I feel like I can try and get it. But I don't have so many enemies to worry about. And let's see about sneaking up on the big guy. Yeah, so you see my problem. Mm-hmm. Guard counters, baby. 1 more. Let's do it. Come on. Get him. I think that's everybody. I'm a little surprised I didn't get a flask refill, but guess we'll see. Smoldering Butterfly. An eternally burning butterfly found near wildfires and elsewhere. Material used for crafting items. Serves as the kindling for a number of items. I really thought that was all of them. Herba. Evergreen leaves that give off a faint light, material used for crafting items. This very common medicinal plant can be found in thickets and elsewhere. So this is what a map still looks like. Steel, I'm not sure what the actual pronunciation is. We got map of Limgrave West. Map of the western region of Limgrave. The domain of Limgrave, far south of the Erdtree, is bordered to the northwest by the cliffs of Stormvale, and under its ever-clouded skies roll the great steppes of the Pale Lands. Right. So if I look at my map now, a new map has been found, Limgrave West. So this is what it looks like after you actually find a map. And the visual accuracy of the maps is actually pretty good. You can, landmarks won't actually have demarcations until you find them. But, like, here's the Gatefront Ruins, here's the Storm Gate. Everything's on there, which is very useful. Aha! That would be why. That would be why I didn't get a flask replenishment. There is still another enemy. Go figure. This whole little camp segment I missed. Well, hopefully I get at least one flask charge after I deal with this guy. We'll find out. There he goes. He was the last one, and my flasks got completely refilled for clearing the entire camp, so that sure is handy. 3 ruin fragments. You can see this skull has actually spawned in since we were in here. It wasn't there when we started. Now these chariots almost always have big treasure chests in them. Lord Sworn's Greatsword. Well-crafted straight-sword with an illustrious design wielded by regulars of a lord's army. Though blackened and damaged by years of use, it appears to have otherwise been kept in a serviceable condition, despite the soldiers having long since lost their minds. Skill, stamp, upward cut. Brace armament and step into a low stance that prevents recoil from most enemy attacks. Follow up with a strong attack for an upward strike. And so that gives you an idea, kind of the timing of the day-night cycle. You can see we're coming out of night and into daytime now. There's another chariot over here, so we'll go see what's in that chest. Flail. Weapon consisting of a bludgeoning head attached to a handle by a chain. The iron ball is spiked and induces blood loss. Blows from this weapon cannot be parried. The charge attack whirls the iron ball around for increased force before striking. Skill, Spinning Chain. Spins the striking part of a flail at high speed to attack. Follow up with a normal or strong attack to link the momentum of this skill into a successive attack. And then you may have noticed, in most of the ruins that are marked on the map as a separate area. Oh, hold on, I missed an item. Godric Soldier Greaves. Greaves worn by soldiers loyal to Godric the Grafted. Rust-worn and stained through unending conflict. Most ruins, sometimes it's hidden, but there's almost always a stair down to an interior area. Sometimes there's a boss, sometimes an NPC, sometimes just treasure. This is the easiest version. Adding skills. With a whetstone knife, you can use Ashes of War to grant your armaments new skills at Sites of Grace. An armament can only have one skill. Any skill it previously had will be removed. An armament's type determines what skills it can have. Some special armaments have unique skills and cannot be granted new ones. Adding affinities. With a whetstone knife, you can use Ashes of War to grant affinities to your armaments at Sites of Grace. This way you can alter an armament's attack affinity, boost attribute scaling, and more. An armament's type determines what affinities it can have. Some special armaments, like those with unique skills, cannot be granted new affinities. So we get the Ash of War, Storm Stomp, and the Whetstone Knife. Let's have a look at all those. This Ash of War grants an armament the quality affinity and the following skill. Storm Stomp, one of the skills that channel the tempests of Stormvale. Stomp hard on the ground to kick up a momentary storm. Usable on all melee armaments. Whetstone Knife. Whetstone with a cipher inscription made to look like a small knife blade. Allows the use of Ashes of War at a Site of Grace to bestow new battle arts and affinities to armaments as skills. The battle arts and affinities will depend on the Ashes of War used. So, nothing too surprising there. Alright. So we're going to head this way now. You can already see our next Site of Grace over here. Gonna go ahead and use the runes we've picked up. So this is Agil Lake North. I can gain one more level, pop it into Vigor. Gonna raise Vigor to 20 before I do anything else. Morning, so that's very good. It's somewhere around here. Oh shoot. I don't want to fight him.
Oi! You there. Could you help us out, Cully?
It's one of these bushes.
You? Yeah, you there. Stop pretending you can't see me. Why won't anyone look me in the eye? I'm not that ugly, am I?
Aha. Loyal. There it is.
What'd you go and do that for?
There he is.
Oh, yes. I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell, weren't you? Thank you. The name's Bok. I was pushed out of the cave. Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really. Oh, what a shame. When they threw me out of the cave, they took everything I owned. And so this is all I have to express my thanks. I hope you can forgive me.
10 mushrooms.
Or, well, if you can afford to wait for a while, I could sneak back into the cave and bring back something of actual value. Then I'd be of some real use to you, I reckon.
A fungal growth that thrives in damp thickets and elsewhere, material used for crafting items. Its thick, spongy flesh makes it a key component in throwing pots.
Right, but I'll need a moment. I'm frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees start knocking, just thinking about that god-awful cave on the shore. Right,
Alright. Demi-human Bach. Arteria leaf. These are pretty high value. Dark red leaves with thick swollen veins. Material used for crafting items. Exceedingly rare to find. A faint pulse can be felt in the veins. Stirs the blood, providing an enlivening effect. Use bird's eye telescope. You can use the bird's eye telescopes found in various areas to get a bird's eye view of the terrain in the direction that the telescope is facing. Let's have a look. That's a minor Erd tree. They usually have really, really good treasure at the base, and there's always a boss guarding them. There's another minor. So you can see a few minor Erd trees kind of scattered over the landscape. There, of course, is the main one. Anyway, that's all we really need. These are actually much easier to deal with just by breaking them with Torrent. So I might die here, because these scarabs, they're like this game's version of crystal lizards. You almost always want to kill them, because they don't just carry, like, smithing gear. They carry unique stuff like Ashes of War, and it's pretty important to get them, so... Ash of War, Determination. And of course, that in turn often means we just let some enemies aggro. But if they go back to their camp, now that I got that scarab, I can deal with them more stealthily. This Ash of War grants an armament the quality affinity and the following skill. Determination, a knightly skill. Hold the flat of the armament to your face and pledge your resolve, powering up your next attack. Usable on all melee armaments. And so I want to get the soldiers first, if I can. And then we're going to have to deal with that guy on horseback. Generally better to be on horseback yourself to fight horseback guys. You can probably see he and his horse actually do have separate health bars. There we go. Him down, we can go loot this. Another smithing stone 1. See another soldier guarding the bridge here. Let's sneak up and backstab him. Could not, in fact, get the backstab. That's alright. We will skip this for now. These should be the waypoint ruins. We aren't going to clear them yet either. We're just kind of going to skirt around them. See, there's some mean magic happening from monsters in there. In here, or over here, you see the graveyard. This is where I'm trying to get to. Got some wolves to fight. The white ones, as you can see, are significantly stronger than standard. Most of these graveyards, you can find lots of golden runes in them. Sure enough, there's a 1, there's a 2. There's a 1. There's a 1. And there's our first 3. Grace that dwells within the inhabitants of the lands between, the lingering trace of gold, used to gain 800 runes. And even now, runes are still imbued with the power of life itself. Do you see the Erd tree towering o'er? I mean, hard not to. Alright, so from here, now that that's done, we're going to warp back to the Church of Elay.
This way, Tarnished. May I have a word?
Someone new.
A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk I surmise is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent.
I can call the spectral steed.
As I had hoped, I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
Spirit Calling Bell and Lone Wolf Ashes.
'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. From ash and return to the Erd tree, the spirits will obey thine command but briefly. As they recall battles past, now it is thine to do with as thou wishest.
Summoning spirits, so now we can summon. With the Spirit Calling Bell, you can use ashes to summon various spirits. Summoning typically consumes FP. You can only summon one type of spirit at a time. You cannot summon spirits during multiplayer. A bell capable of summoning various spirits from ashen remains. It usually requires FP to use. Spirits can only be summoned in the vicinity of a rebirth monument. When summoning is possible, the monument icon will be visible on the left side of the screen. Only one type of spirit may be summoned at once, and none may be summoned during multiplayer. Lone Wolf Ashes. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell, used to summon the spirits of 3 lone wolves. Spirits of wolves chased from their pack. They later encountered a nameless Tarnished who welcomed them as hunting companions. The wolf spirits overwhelm enemies with their agility, aiding the summoner in combat. So I'm going to hotkey the spirit tuning bell. That's one of the things I want always in the pouch forever. Start with them.
Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between.
Notice her 4 hands.
Be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the 2 fingers.
And we'll talk to Kale again.
Wait, weren't you... Well, you're back. Care to buy something?
Talk.
There are others of my people who yet survive in these lands. If the mood takes you when you meet one, then offer them some trade, won't you? My people, wanderers all have long been spurned by the grace of gold, which is why we cannot settle, but instead are forced into this pitiful, unceasing journey. But thanks to that, things are not so different for us now, though the Elden Ring is shattered. I think this makes us kindred spirits of sorts. Your people, the Tarnished, and mine.
Talk.
Perhaps you don't need to hear this, but see that no harm comes to my kin. We have a saying, we wanderers, lament not your solitude. Expect no sympathy, no regard, nothing. But if anyone dares harm us, show them no mercy. That is our code, so to speak. Just the way we are, deeply unforgiving.
Alright, so we're going to buy the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 1 at this point. A record of crafting techniques left by roaming nomad warriors. Contains knowledge for surviving in the face of utter scarcity. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following: bone arrow fletched, and bone bolt. For now, I can sell him. As I usually do, I want to keep at least one of everything. So I think the only thing I have extra of is a Godric Soldier Gauntlet, so I'll sell him the extra. And we'll call it good for now.
Goodbye. Nice to do business.
We use the smithing table, strengthen armament, smithing menu. With the smithing menu, you can spend runes and smithing stones to strengthen your armaments. You can strengthen your armaments up to +3 at a smithing table. Somewhere in the lands between, you may meet a blacksmith who can make your armaments even stronger. So we'll take it to +1. That's all we can do for now. We need to find more smithing stones. Then we will warp back to the gate front. So you'll notice that icon on the left, that's what indicates that we can currently summon. Before I do anything else, I'm going to use these runes and do some more leveling. Alright, so here's the storm gate. We are not gonna fight all these guys. That would be ill-advised. Just gonna get past them. Now I might consider turning around and clearing them from the top up, because that's a lot easier. But their numbers are large, as you can see. Damn it. Do better, me. There we go. Alright. So, we found a lump of flesh. A lump of beast flesh filled with rich juices, material used for crafting items, found by hunting carnivorous beasts. Meat suitable for a rustic feast. Yeah, that troll is the thing we really can't deal with at the moment. We are simply too weak. But we should be able to take out most everything else. And it's worth doing, because we're actually not really going to come back this way. And it's not terribly likely, but there's always an off chance that these guys will... You can see the shields these guys are carrying. They have a very small chance of dropping a brass shield every one we kill, and if they do, I will immediately switch to it, because a fully upgraded brass shield is actually in-game gear for me. There's a golden rune. We will continue giving the troll a wide berth. Go ahead and kill this guy. Okay, I've aggroed the troll. I better leave that alone for now. We can't handle a troll, not even close. Hello, Tiff! Welcome, welcome! Hi, Raiders, how we doing? And let me back off a little, so I'm in no danger. How was your stream, Tiff? How's Avowed continuing to treat you? Any of my people who aren't yet following Tiff should fix that mistake right now. Well, there hasn't been a stream of mine in a while, to be fair. Good, I'm so glad to hear that. Tiff was the first streamer I ever really started watching. She was the first Twitch streamer I ever subscribed to, in fact. And one of the only ones I've bothered meeting in real life since. You know, it's really wild to be at the beginning again, but Elden Ring's always fun. I haven't played Shadow of the Erd Tree at all yet, so I just kind of felt like streaming today, frankly, and it's a game I haven't streamed before, so there is our first golden seed. A golden seed found at the base of an illusory tree increases a sacred flask's number of uses, can be used after resting at a site of grace. When the Elden Ring was shattered, these seeds flew from the Erd Tree, scattering across the various lands as if life itself knew that its end had come. What lore? That you were the first person I ever subbed to? True, true. Oh, hello. Danger! We're nearly to a grace anyway, so not too worried about using the flask. Yes, it's been a long time now. I had just gotten my first big law job. Tiff was a first year law student. Now I am no longer practicing law, and she's done the law firm thing. You work in-house now, right? Do you still have that in-house gig? Yeah, we've known each other a minute. So that brings us to Stormhill Shack, where we can speak to Melina. Do that first.
This tiny golden aura is the grace of the Erd Tree.
Hey, Kirky, how are you?
Once shone in the eyes of your tarnished.
Always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
But now, it is all that guides you. Or so I hear. You can see them, can't you?
Bye, Tiff. Thank you so much for the raid. Much appreciated.
Guide you through your burden.
He's got more to say.
Upon the cliff, in Castle Stormvale, is a shard bearer, a demigod, who inherited a fragment of the shattered Elden Ring. If the rays of grace signal the castle, then the Elden Ring beckons you. As an ally by pact, I pray that you are fit to face the challenge presented by the ring.
And with my golden seed, for the first time I can add a charge to my flask. Added a charge to Flask of Crimson Tears. I'm not sure if this is enough to level or not. I have to peek at it. Not yet. All right. So here we are at the Stormhill Shack. There's our first stone sword key. A sword-shaped stone key breaks the seal on imp statues, but remains embedded in the statue after use, meaning it can only be used once as an item. Think well before using one.
Everyone's been grafted. Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They fought for me. Only to have their arms taken. Their legs taken. Even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to the spider. Did you know? If you're grafted by the spider, you become a chrysalid. It's quite a lark when you think about it.
New gesture, sitting sideways.
You're all on your own, are you? And heading to Stormvale Castle? Enticed by the one in the white mask, I suppose. Oh, you've come to be one with the spider? Well, that makes us two peas in a pod. But I don't have your courage. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off. Or legs. Or your head. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven. Oh, I know. Can you take this little one along with you?
Spirit jellyfish ashes.
Nothing deserves someone braver than myself. And the spirits look rather fondly upon you. It'll be glad of your company, I think, the little un.
Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell, used to summon a spirit jellyfish, a floating spirit that illuminates its surroundings. Prone to tears, the jellyfish girl searches for her distant home, will bravely spew poison at foes on her summoner's behalf. It seems her name is Aurelia.
It was a pleasure to see you. Oh, can you pass on a message for me? If you see the little chrysalids in Stormvale Castle, tell them I love them. And that, despite my craven heart, I'm sure I'll be joining their club soon enough. I'm finally getting the hang of this whole pain thing, you know. It was a pleasure to see you. Oh, tell them I love that I'm finally getting the hang.
Alright. Oh, yep. I rested, so they're back. Thin beast bones. Those are new. Thin, hard beast bones, material used for crafting items, found by hunting beasts, commonly used to make disposable weapons. Well, it's a particularly stupid argument with this game, because you'll see when we get further into it. Summons are such an intricate mechanic in this game. There's so many of them. There are all the different ways in which you can upgrade each summon after you get to the round table hold. And so the idea that, oh, you just shouldn't use them, like, there's such a significant mechanic. I find that argument insufferable. We'll be using them a lot. You're right, though. Purists do yell. Now, let me see. There's what I'm looking for. You see that enormous dead colossus? It's not dead! Another thing we absolutely can't handle right now. If you're curious. I need to get on top of this structure, though. We got a new gesture, crossed legs. Kind of need to try and get out of here and not die. And see this big sundial over here at the edge of the cliff? Alright, good. Hide in the bush for a minute and it loses aggro. Perfect. Starlight Shards. An ephemeral sliver that gives off a pale blue glow, what remains of a passing flash of starlight, used to gradually recover FP. A prized item that was once used in the Eternal City as an ingredient in intoxicating draughts. Kinda gonna stay in sneak mode. So those Colossi, they've got pretty big aggro range. I want to kind of stay in stealth mode, at least until I get to the trees. Well, off we go. Alright. We're safe from him now. I'm not sure what else is in here. Nothing hostile, I don't think. So those blue jellyfish are non-hostile. If you see a red one, it'll attack you. This, however, is a problem. Skellies in this game will come back to life unless you do that extra hit while they're glowing on the ground. That actually finishes them off. I just need to be... I need to make very sure I don't accidentally hit a jellyfish while I'm fighting them. Human Bone Shard. Fragment of bone with dun modeling. Material used for crafting items. Found by hunting those who live in death. Lamentably brittle, it crumbles at the lightest caress. Alright. So there's a smithing stone 1. More to find over here. Alright, so you see red jellies. Those are the ones who are gonna attack us if they see us. kind of want to do a loot and run here. Root resin. We'll look at that later, so let's just get our stuff and go. Godric Soldier Ashes. That was the most important thing to find. 3 Blood Rose. And right next to them, 3 Magic Grease. So that's what it looks like when they spit poison. You see they all turn hostile. Gotta get to a safe-ish distance and run like hell. Next thing to do is just get back to Stormhill Shack with our gains. Should be alright now, I think. Very good. Alright. So we didn't quite get poisoned. That's handy. Alright, let's look at what we got. Root resin was first. Resin secreted from the roots of the grape tree can also be found near trees on the surface. Material used in crafting items. The roots of the grape tree were once linked to those of the Erd tree, or so they say, and it is for this reason catacombs are built around grape tree roots. Godric Soldier Ashes. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell, used to summon the spirits of 2 of Godric's soldiers. A duo of spirits consisting of a wielder of devastating charged hammer attacks in the vanguard, and a crossbowman bringing up the rear. The soldiers who serve Godric the Grafted are what remains of the army that fled the royal capital of the Erd Tree. Blood Rose. Blood-slick roses that bloom in blood-soaked soil, material used for crafting items. Particularly beloved by those who serve the Lord of Blood. Glory to his inevitable reign. Magic Grease. Solidified grease made from a mixture of magically resonant materials, craftable item. Coats armament, adding magic damage to attacks. The effect lasts only for a short time. Alright, so we're gonna rest, level if we can. Excellent. And we will continue. We'll make our way down here. Keep our eyes open. Smithing stone 1. He had 3 of them, though, if you look at the counter in the bottom right. Can see some decidedly weird-looking stone snake critters over here. Thank you, Wisebot. Always nice. Uh-oh. There are 2 of them. Like to get a backstab if I can. Let's go for it. 5 fire arrows. Alright, there's a troll here. We're no match for it. There is an item I want past it, so I'm hoping I can sneak around it without aggroing it. We'll see. Strength Not Crystal Tier. We'll get the lore on that after I sneak back out of here. Oh, maybe I don't need to sneak at this point. If I give it a wide enough berth, I can probably just go for speed. Alright, we should be safe now. Alright, so, the Strength Not Crystal Tier. A crystal tier formed slowly over the ages where the Erd Tree's bounty falls to the ground. Can be mixed in the Flask of Wondrous Physic, an important item that we don't have yet. The resulting concoction temporarily boosts one's strength. So, from where we bagged that dude... should be another graveyard full of runes over this way. Which we can get to without much trouble. Yeah, here we go. Just have to watch out for these weird stone things. These ones are kamikazes. They self-destruct. I like to make sure it's clear before I start looting, generally. Unless it's something I'm not prepared to fight yet, like the entire camp of hostile jellyfish. These stone snake things drop ruin fragments. I think they're guaranteed. We got a couple more of them to deal with, and then we'll go loot the graveyard. After I grab this root, at any rate. Alright. Believe the graveyard is clear now. Should have a total of 8 runes to pick up in here. There's a golden rune 1. Another golden rune 1. Another golden rune 1. Golden rune 5. That's the biggest one we found so far. Grace that dwells within the inhabitants of the lands between. The lingering grace of gold. Used to gain 1,600 runes. Even now, runes are still imbued with the power of life itself. Do you see the Erd Tree towering o'er? There's a 3. There's a 2. There's a 2. I think one more. Yeah, there it is. And a 1. Excellent. You can see another shack down here, complete with its own brand new site of grace. Need to save. Gonna save my runes just for a moment because we've got a purchase to make here. But this is the War Master's Shack. Melina has more to say.
Me? I'm searching for my purpose, given to me by my mother inside the Earth Tree, long ago, for the reason that I yet live, burned and bodiless. There is something for which I must apologize. I've acted the Finger Maiden, yet can offer no guidance. I am no maiden. My purpose was long ago lost.
Let's talk to this guy.
Not seen you before. Name's Bernard. Tarnished, just like you. Let me ask you something. Are you here in the lands between to take up the fight? Does your faith in the guidance of grace hold firm, despite the collapse of the Golden Order?
My faith holds firm.
Yes, you're a Tarnished through and through. Takes me back. But that's a quality needed now more than ever. Any interest in bearing the torch of my battle arts? All I know is the sword. Picked up a fair few tricks in my time, too. Now's the time to pass them on. To a good and proper Tarnished, like you.
Talk.
There's a myriad of battle arts in these lands that I've yet to discover. Mementos of all the warriors who raised their arms in battle, lost and died. A fine tale, all told of true chivalric romance. That's how I fell in love with the sword, and the arts of combat. It grants meaning even to falling in battle, to death itself.
Learn skills. So he sells a few Ashes of War. There's one I want to buy right now. Ash of War, no skill. This Ash of War grants no affinity to an armament and replaces any skill present with the following. No skill. This armament has no skill. If the armament in the other hand has a skill, that skill will be used instead. Usable on shields and torches.
Well, until we meet again.
So there's some root resins around this tree over here. Now that we've made that purchase, I'm going to go ahead and use all of my runes in stat leveling. Alright, so 20 vigor. Next I'm going to raise strength to 18. Check the time of day right quick. Yeah, I want to pass time until morning. We're about to do something risky. So I was prudent to use all of my runes. So you see the trolls down here? We can't fight them. But we need to aggro them. Because if you look at this statue in the middle of everything, we need a troll to break it for us in order to loot it. So I gotta bait an attack. After he breaks it for me, I can loot it. Come on. Loot it! There we go. We got 5 smithing stone 1s and a smithing stone 2. And while we're running and looting, I'll grab that beast liver. And I'm going to try and get clear of them. We have not yet broken aggro. Shouldn't be surprised, I guess. If you look down here, you see another encampment. Before I do anything else, let's look at what we picked up. Smithing stone 2. Stone used to smith a variety of armaments, a large shard found in plenty, strengthens armaments up to +6. Smithing stone is found throughout the lands between, and mining galleries built to excavate it can be found everywhere. And beast liver. The fresh liver of a beast, a luscious fruit of life. Material used for crafting items, found by hunting herbivorous beasts, I'm not sure which is right. Dried liver boosts damage negation. So with that, kind of gonna sneak down the cliff here. Get in behind these top level guys. Try and kill them without aggroing anyone else. See what that drop was. A foot soldier cap. All right. Flanged iron cap, widely issued to foot soldiers in a lord's army. With that, I'm going to summon my lone wolves. They'll help me clear the camp out. Whatever's left in here anyway. Oh, a knight. Okay. Thanks, wolves. Got him. Godric Knight armor. Alright. So that's new. Armor worn by knights loyal to Godric the Grafted. Its left breast is emblazoned with a two-headed war axe, an emblem of the golden lineage. The knights surely boasted of their strength in days long gone. That should be most of the truly difficult stuff. Let's try for backstabs on the rest of them. I saw one patrolling over here. Let's not leave him unattended. Then let's backstab this one. We'll know that the camp is actually clear because our summon will disappear if we get that far. Which we should. And we get the flash charge, too. Foot Soldier Gauntlets. Those are new. Metal gauntlets covered in nicks and dents, widely issued to foot soldiers in a lord's army. Well, I thought my summon would disappear, but actually I guess that doesn't happen if there's not a boss. Exalted Flesh. A lump of animal flesh pickled in a medicinal solution mixed with fiery spices. Craftable item. Temporarily boosts physical attack. Considered a delicacy in the Badlands, this invigorating repast was for the exclusive benefit of those who they deem heroes. And over here, there's a treasure chest. Beast Crest Heater Shield. A medium-sized metal shield, easier to handle than a kite shield, features a beast as its crest, serving to remind warriors not to succumb to the arousal of battle. Fight with passion, but become not its prisoner. Skill, Parry. Use this skill in time with a foe's melee attack to deflect it and break that foe's stance. This provides an opening to perform a critical hit. I would like to equip that. I need to see if it takes me above medium load or not. It does not. Excellent. That's going to be significantly better damage negation than the one I had. So we'll keep going east. Now that the camp is clear, our wolves will disappear when we get too far away. That's alright. They did what we needed them to do. The little bell sound, like a lord summoning their butler. That's true.
Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Hello? Hello? Anyone?
Well, I hear somebody. Let's go to the site of grace first. That is Alexander. Karis has played this game. I don't think I can level up right now. I cannot, in fact. That's okay. I'm not sure if I can handle a pumpkin or not. We'll find out. Oh, hell yeah! We got the bleed proc, baby. He drops a sanctuary stone. A rare piece of stone fragment found near places where ruins have fallen from the sky. Material used for crafting items. It feeds and strengthens the light as it shines. This should be a couple smithing stones. Very good. After we cross the bridge, we're getting off the map here, but that's alright. We're out of the Storm Hills, back into bog standard Limgrave. Here's our first nomadic merchant besides Christmas Calais. He's playing an instrument until we talk to him.
Oh, dear. I'm terribly sorry. Are you here as a customer?
I don't think I have any redundant stuff to sell. Let me make sure of that. No, in fact. Okay, all good. I want the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 3. A record of crafting techniques left by roaming nomad warriors contains knowledge for surviving in the face of utter scarcity. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following. Pickled turtleneck, which is very useful. Early on, anyway. Poison bone arrow fletched, and poison bone bolts. And I also want to buy the cracked pot. This empty pot somehow mends itself when broken. Essential vessel for crafting cracked pot items. The materials and magic sealed within deploy their effects when the pot is thrown.
I must apologise. I'm afraid I've very little to offer.
Not so, my friend. Cracked pots are extremely useful over time. Alright. Eyes up, but I think we'll be okay heading this way. Oh, come on now. Get it! There we go. I also love Alexander, not gonna lie. Other than Millennia, the hardest thing, because I haven't beaten Millennia yet on my first playthrough on the PlayStation, but apart from that, my, oh shit, skellies. Focus up, boyo. Oh, there's a bunch. I just need to make sure I have space to finish them off after I knock them down. Oh, this is not going well. Alright, we're alright, we're alright, we're alright. Well, fuck you both. How do you like that? Alright. In the end, only burned one flask. Not too bad for letting myself get caught off guard. Trina's Lily. These are very important. You can use them to craft sleeping pots. A light purple water lily that is on the verge of wilting. Material used for crafting items, exceedingly rare to find. A symbol of faith in St. Trina, dulls the senses, preventing agitation. Anyway, I was saying, so Millennia is obviously the hardest thing, because I haven't managed her yet. The second hardest thing, the hardest thing I've actually done so far, was killing the three summons for the Great Warrior Jar. Have you done that, Karis? Do you know what I'm talking about? I had a much harder time with that than I did with Electo. Alright, from here. Let's go this way. Should be able to drop some levels. I can't believe I already need a new controller, but it's sure acting like it. There's an Arteria Leaf. My left stick's dead zone's all busted already. Feels like I just got this one, I swear. There's some normal bears. I'll try not messing with them if I can help it. Normal bears aren't too bad, but great dragonflies, you want to kill these whenever you see them, because great dragonfly heads are how you craft poison cures. And we will need many poison cures throughout the game, I assure you. Great dragonfly head. Head of a large dragonfly, material used for crafting items, long believed to have the ability to neutralize poisons. Okay, regular bears aren't bad. The cocaine bears, on the other hand, I think they're actually called rune bears, but I like cocaine bear. I'm gonna go with that. Now that I've heard someone say it. Yeah, see, it's like... You notice me walking when it doesn't make any sense for me to be walking? It's because the dead zone on this thing is busted. I can try to reset it, but... I can't... It's already time for a new one, I guess. Anyway, like I said, unless there's something else really dangerous sweating you, it's worth taking the time to kill these things, because you need a lot of poison cures. Gold-tinged excrement. We just picked up some animal shit. Someone's excrement. It has a golden tinge. Material used for crafting items, often hidden in woods and thickets. Gold-tinged excrement is a highly stable substance. It doesn't dry out, nor does it lose its customary warmth or scent. For better or for worse, it remains as it is. Oh, the cocaine bears? Oh, I know, and there are those places. There are places where a cocaine bear. Oh, got a bear. He's not of the cocaine variety. We get a hefty beast bone. Which I'll look at in a second. Aw, no head? You gotta be kidding me. Alright. Fuck did I come over here for, then? Come here, D-bag. At least it stays locked on him. I think sometimes you actually have to let the lock drop. And that's what prompts them to settle. They don't like it when you're facing them. Alright. So a hefty beast bone. Thick, solid beast bones, material used for crafting items, found by hunting particularly large beasts, commonly used to make disposable weapons. Well, I'm gonna use it too now, Karis. It's much better than Rune Bear. It just is. Okay, so here's a smithing stone 1. The Artist's Shack. Here's our first painting. Homing Instinct. These are interesting. Work of a wandering artist, reminiscence of a painting titled Homing Instinct. This painter is said to have captured the landscapes seen during the last moments of those welcomed into death's embrace. The soul of the painter and vestiges of the dead's last moments can be discovered by visiting the location depicted even now. That's not enough to level, so we'll just rest at the grace and move on. Nice. Alright, so from here, we're going to go northeast first. There's the Artist's Shack. You can kind of see where we are relative to everything we found so far. Well, what did I aggro? Not sure. So this graveyard's where I'm trying to go. I don't recall why it's offering me a summon. I don't think there's anything in this one. Alright, Golden Rune 1. Golden Rune 2. Golden Rune 4. That's new. Grace that dwells within the inhabitants of the lands between, the lingering trace of gold, used to gain 1,200 runes. Even now, runes are still imbued with the power of life itself. Do you see the Erd Tree towering o'er? Golden Rune 1. Golden Rune 4. Golden Rune 1. Golden Rune 6. Heyo. Grace that dwells within the inhabitants of the lands between, the lingering residue of gold, used to gain 2,000 runes. Those born at the foot of the Erd Tree are blessed. At least that is the enduring belief of the people of the plateau. Yeah, I did know that. I didn't read about it, but I deduced it. You figure it out before too long when you're actually playing. Fever's Cookbook 1. That's new. A record of crafting techniques left by a man who was utterly captivated by Saint Trina. He continued the search for her in his slumber. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following. Sleep Pot. There are a few boss fights where sleep pots are incredibly useful. For now, gonna do some parkour. Hope I don't die. If you look down here, you can see these tombstones sticking out of the wall. Uh-oh. Cocaine Bear! Get gone, son! Yeah, we certainly can't handle a cocaine bear. It'll just absolutely murder that entire wolf pack. But I think I got far enough away it won't aggro at me after the fact. I hope not, anyway. You can see our next gray scarab over there. See if I can get this dragonfly. That one too. Why not? Alright, so here... Let's see. Yeah, I better go ahead and do it. There's our next gray scarab. Get in there and get it. Got him. Ash of War, Sacred Blade. This Ash of War grants an armament the Sacred affinity and the following skill. Sacred Blade grants armament's attacks Holy Essence and fires off a golden blade projectile. The armament retains its Holy Essence for a while. Usable on melee armaments, whips, fists, and claws accepted. Very good. Alright. Not bad. Keep going east, deal with some wolves. Get a flask back. Neutralizing boluses. Look at those in a minute. Once I'm fairly sure nothing's gonna gank me. Alright. Green boluses made from cave moss, craftable item. Alleviates poison buildup and cures poison ailment. Poison accumulates gradually, coming into effect once the threshold is reached. Poison ailment lowers HP in steady increments for a period. There we go. Alright, so... looking for safe passage down to that church. That drop will be too far. Flight pinion. Flight feather of birds, material used for crafting items, commonly used for arrow fletchings. Oh yeah, tarnished golden sunflower, that's new too. A large flower that blooms facing the Erd tree, material used for crafting items found near minor Erd trees. Though wilted and faded, it still retains holy essence. Yeah. I'm gonna take the time to kill these dragonflies, because they are usually the limiting reagent in crafting neutralizing boluses. So, although I don't have any yet, you find a shitload of cave moss. Come on, D-bag. There you go. Alright, so, into the church. The Third Church of America. Lots to find here. Flask of Wondrous Physic. You can find crystal tears at the bases of minor Erd trees and elsewhere throughout the lands between. At sites of grace, you can mix 2 crystal tears in the Flask of Wondrous Physic. This will allow you to create elixirs with various custom effects. So we got a crimson crystal tear and a Flask of Wondrous Physic. Crimson Crystal Tear. A crystal tear forms slowly over the ages where the Erd tree's bounty falls to the ground. Can be mixed in the Flask of Wondrous Physic. The resulting concoction restores half of one's maximum HP. And the Flask of Wondrous Physic itself. A relic of the Physic Chemists, priests of the Erd tree. Harnesses the powers of crystal tears, which only form after the passage of many moons. Various special effects are bestowed upon the drinker, dependent on the specific mixture of crystal tears. Rest at a site of grace to replenish. Basins are placed at the feet of minor Erd trees throughout the lands between, in order to collect their crystallized tears. Alright, so, I don't want it hotkeyed here. I want it in my pouch right here. And over here, a sacred tear. These are important too. These are the Firekeeper souls, essentially. Blessing of the Erd tree, worshipped in the churches of all lands. This is but a faint vestige. Increases the potency of a sacred flask's restorative effects. Can be used after resting at a site of grace. During the age of the Erd tree, these tears were used to spread the faith, for theirs was once a certain blessing. So, flasks first. Increase amount replenished by flasks. Use a sacred tear to increase the amount of HP FP replenished by your flasks, of course. And now we can also speak to Melina.
Spoken echoes linger here. Words of Queen Marika, who vanished long ago. If you wish, I will share them with you.
I'm interested.
Very well. In Marika's own words, my lord, and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die. Well, perhaps that might serve you in lieu of a maiden's guidance. Shall I turn your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment, share them with me. Your thoughts.
Use up some runes. I have enough to level once, maybe twice. Maybe 3 times. Shoot. Let's have a gander. Target is 18 strength. Twice. Okay, good. Alright, from here then, we will warp back to Stormhill Shack. Right here. And we're gonna, for the moment, get back to following the path toward the castle. Not really interested in fighting a random patrol of Godric soldiers if I don't have to. I'll just circle around them. There's going to be another scarab around here. I hear it already. There it is. Let's kick his ass, Seabass. But I don't want him to run away toward the encampment. I want him to run away from it. So. There we go. Lovely. Ash of War, Wild Strikes. This Ash of War grants an armament the heavy affinity and the following skill. Wild Strikes. Swing armament with wild abandon. Hold to continue swinging. Can be followed up with a normal or strong attack. Usable on axes and hammers, as well as curved swords and great swords. Colossal weapons accepted. Alright. We're going to leave the road again, head north this way. Oh, hello, bats. Up here is the first of many finger reader crones that we will find.
You, please, I can read them. Your fingers. Please, your fingers.
Show hands.
Bless you. Head to the foundation of gold tarnished. Traverse Rea Lucaria, glintstone eventide, and reunite the half crescents at the grand lift. Oh, but the bridge is collapsed and cannot be crossed. Only, why should that matter? Stormvale Castle still stands tall.
So she's not wrong about the bridge, but there's loot on it before the break. Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 7. A record of crafting techniques left by roaming nomad warriors contains knowledge for surviving in the face of utter scarcity. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following: soft cotton, stanching boluses, and rainbow stone arrows. Alright. Alright, so this is kind of what she was hinting at. There's a long secret path down here around Stormvale Castle itself. Leave that scarab alone for the moment. We'll be back later. The animals kind of help you see where the path is, too. As do messages and kind of the glow of plants. Welcome back, Lone Wonder. Pleasure to have you back. How are you, my friend? Let's go ahead and get the flight pinions. Very good. You're hungry. Yeah, next grace I rest at, I need to take a little break and feed River and maybe figure out what to do myself. For now, though, onward. And just like that, we've made it to Liurnia of the Lakes. Like she said, collapsed bridge ain't nothing. Only, why should that matter? See, here's a grace, but I'm gonna activate it, but not rest just yet. That should be the lake-facing cliffs. Very good. Next church is here. That's where I'm headed for the moment. Chicken stir fry with baked potatoes. That sounds delicious. So in here, Church of Irith. There's another sacred tier. So if you haven't already pieced it together, my approach to this, the guide I'm following, is essentially get all of the buffs and upgrades that you can easily access at a time, and then go fight be as strong as possible before you actually go do significant fights. So, let's talk to this guy.
You're tarnished, aren't you? Then, perhaps you could spare some runes. Believe it or not, I studied glintstone sorceries at the Academy of Rea Lucaria. For a small donation, I'd be happy to share my knowledge.
Donate 10 runes.
Well, bless you, bless you. You're a true saint. My name is Topes. Presuming you're interested, I can teach you sorceries, as promised. Only, none of them are particularly great.
Topes. Alright, let's talk to him.
Apologies, friend. I'm afraid my meager sorceries are no match for your generosity. All right. I can tell you what I know about this place. That should help a bit. You've seen that structure to the north, towering over the water. That's the Academy of Rea Lucaria, where we study glintstone sorceries. Only its doors have been closed for quite some time now. After they declared they wouldn't interfere with the shattering, the Academy cast repelling seals on the east gate leading to the capital, and the south gate leading here. As you might have guessed, the seals are still active, making entry to the Academy impossible without a glintstone key. And so I'm stuck here. A fledgling sorcerer with little chance of acquiring a key. When they cast the seals, I'd just popped out. And now I'm uprooted from my place of learning.
About the glintstone key.
Why not find yourself a glintstone key? Without one, you can't pass through the Academy, and you'll never reach the Erdtree capital. And if you find an extra glintstone key, perhaps, once you've tied up all your loose ends, and I can be very patient, would you consider donating it to me? I know it. I'm a bluntstone. Nary a hint of talent for sorcery. But still, my place is at the Academy.
Very good. Alright. Let's head out of here. There's a significant uptick in enemy difficulty after you leave Limgrave and pass into Liurnia, so we're going to do some sneaking around, avoid fights, just activating a few graces for waypoints later, and making one particularly important purchase as we go. You can see this big encampment here. We are going to do our best to sneak around it. So it's a bit above our pay grade at the moment. I'm probably good enough to clear it, especially with the help of a summon, but why tempt fate? Let's come back later when it's easier. There's another grace down here that I will activate without resting. Should be Liurnia Lakeshore. In fact, it is. Now this merchant sells something very important.
You're new around here. Surprised you found me in my little nook. No matter, no matter. Your money's as good as anyone else's. Why don't you take a look at my wares? Oh, but don't Ask me how I got my hands on them, eh?
Don't have anything to sell. What I want is the lantern. A small waste-worn lantern that illuminates surroundings, used once to turn on and again to turn off. While its light is dimmer than that of a torch, it has the advantage of freeing up the user's hands. So, with the lantern on board, it gets permanently hotkeyed in my bottom slot. There are some places in this game that are zero brightness, pitch black, and you absolutely do need it to navigate. So, from here... you can actually see, even without the map, they do you the favor of marking a map stele... Is it stele? Steel? Stel? How do you pronounce that? Does anyone actually know? But they do you the solid of putting the map monuments on your map even before you find the map, so... Just gonna take a quick ride over here. Notice some bad guys. Get pretty well wrecked by some bad guys. Didn't really want to do any fighting, but I got my flask back, so all's well. Grave Violet. A purple flower that blooms in graveyards. Material used for crafting items. The hue of ghost flame, it's believed to be useful in calling forth spirits. So here's the map of Liurnia East. Map of Liurnia's eastern region. The majority of Liurnia, known for its vast forests and ever-present fog, is sinking into a lake. The eastern coast is home to a high road running north and south. Went down fast, got scary for a second. A new map has been found, Liurnia East. So here we go. Can see more. Things always go down fast in RumSoft games, don't they? Alright. Now, basically, what I'm doing here, if you're wondering what my objective here is... Oh, the giant shrimp. Those things are brutal. I will not stop and mess with them. The idea is, yep, I forget what the exact number is, but you have to collect a certain number of sites of grace. And after you get enough of them, Melina invites you to the round table hold. That's what I'm trying to get going now. Just bypass anything I see. Not gonna worry too much about it. Oh shit, giant shrimp. Don't get ganked! Run away! Run the fuck away. That's how we deal with the giant shrimp. Obviously, we will be back later to actually clear all this stuff, loot it, but these enemies are pretty strong for our current gear and level. But what's not too hard is riding Torrent past them. Let's check this one out. Hopefully this is Eastern Liurnia Lakeshore. I believe it is. Very good. Alright. Gonna head east and south to a grit. There's gonna be a scarab up here that I am gonna try and get. So even these wolves are pretty dire for me at the moment. Let's just get clear of them. Scarab ought to be down here somewhere. Oh yeah, these guys. I hear it. There it is. That's the dick bag we're after. Get him! Good. Once you quarter them, you're in good shape. So, Somber Smithing Stone, 3. Hard Smithing Stone, drained of color. Strengthens special armaments to +3. Special armaments with unique characteristics cannot be strengthened with colored smithing stones. Number of steps and amount strengthened differ from standard equipment. Yeah, this is the one that turns upside down, the Carrion Study Hall. I don't have the item to make it happen yet, but eventually that'll be the deal. Okay, here we go. This will be enough. Melena's going to talk to me whether I ask her to or not when I rest at this one.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to determine if the Elden Ring would truly have you, if you had the mettle to endure this long and arduous path. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Round Table Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions, guided by grace.
Go to the Round Table Hold.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
This should unlock our first achievement. Yep, Round Table Hold. Arrived at Round Table Hold. Show me all of them. There we go. 1 of 42, 2%. Arrived at Round Table Hold. 76.8% of players have this achievement. That's all good. The Round Table Hold is a place where Tarnished gather, guided by grace. Combat is prohibited on the premises due to a pact of non-aggression. This rule is in effect when the Round Table icon is displayed. The Round Table Hold is located outside of this world, and fast travel by grace is the only means of reaching it. Use the map to travel there. Alright, so I am going to let it sit here a minute. Now that I've rested, I've got the waypoint and everything. I'm not going to be gone long. I just need to feed River and maybe grab some food for myself. I'll be right back. Alright, River's fed. Before I get right back to it, I'm going to order myself some dinner right quick, because there is a pretty stark lack of food in the house. I know what I want. That'll do. There we go, almost ready. Please deliver as soon as possible. Let's go. Very good. All right, order placed. Dinner's on its way. All right, now we'll get back to it. Thank you for your patience. So, the round table hold. It's interesting that it's kind of such an ordeal to unlock it, because it's this game's answer to Firelink Shrine, Majula. It's kind of home base, but as you can see, it takes a bit of work in order to get here in the first place. I'm getting like a hero and fries from a Mediterranean spot nearby. Here we go. So we're going to go counterclockwise, talk to everybody in the room. And this is a significant number of these people are people that we have heard of, whose names we heard in the intro.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. I can't remember the last time a new tarnished made their way to the round table. Very well. As your senior, I bid you welcome. It is safe here. You may let down your guard. Allow me a word of advice. As your senior, you are a mere visitor to the round table. Nothing more. A house guest. Yet to earn their keep. Remember your place, newcomer. There's nothing left to say. Be at your leisure.
That's Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing.
There's nothing left.
All right. Here's this gal again, Roderica.
Greetings. Nice to see you again. My name is Roderica. I should have told you sooner. Isn't this place impressive though? The round table hold, covert quarters of the Two Fingers, and gathering place of champions who vie to become Elden Lord. I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us Tarnished had such fantastic roots, although it's all a bit much for me, in truth. I'm still looking for my own purpose. It's all a bit much for I'm still looking.
Roderica. Brother Corin.
Oh, I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Round Table Hold. I'm Corin, a man of the cloth. I teach incantations, the strength granted us by the Two Fingers, and explore the secrets of the Golden Order, so that one day, if a Tarnished of the Round Table Hold should become Elden Lord, I might counsel them, ensuring order regains its proper form, righting rule over men. By the way, do you still see it? The guidance of grace.
I see it.
You do? Wonderful news. Most Tarnished are blind to it these days. You are something of a rare breed. Well, what do you say? Care to learn an incantation of the Two Fingers?
Leave.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
We did get the prayer gesture. Jesus is playing Hitman Absolution. Oh, my Steam prompts are showing up. Gotcha. Oh, that's funny. Alright. What do you want? New gesture. Alright. So these are the Twin Maiden Husks. They're a merchant. They're a really interesting merchant, too, because if a merchant in this game dies, you can collect a bell bearing from them. And if you bring the bell bearing back to the Round Table Hold and give it to the Twin Maiden Husks, they will begin selling that merchant's inventory here at Behold. So you're not permanently locked out of anything. Alright, so we will end up needing to buy several things from them. For now, we will buy the White Cipher Ring. Item for online play, can also be used from the multiplayer menu. Allows you to automatically request for a hunter from another world to come to your rescue when your world is invaded. Summoning is not always possible. One of the lost mystic codes said to have been bestowed by the Two Fingers. Requesting aid from a hunter. If you use a White Cipher Ring, you will automatically request for a hunter from another world to come to your rescue when your world is invaded. Can also be used after you are invaded. The hunter will be summoned once the request succeeds, and their objective is to defeat the invader of your world. And so with that, these doors do open over time. We gain access to much more of the hold. For the moment, we'll head over here. Need to use my runes. Here is our blacksmith, Smithing Master Hugh.
You're a new face. No matter. It's all the same. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing.
Notice that he is chained to the wall. Let's start. With the stones I have, I should be able to get my Uchi to +4. Very good. About Roderica.
The girly boy here. She's crestfallen and can scarcely swing a blade. But she has a gift for spirit tuning. I saw another one like her long ago. Their eyes share the same hue.
About the chains on your legs.
I see you've noticed the chains.